Well, it seems like Nintendo isn't reading the room. I'm not lying to you when I say this, but it seems like a Mario Kart game is going to be shutting down. Mario Kart Tour is going to be shutting down September 30th of 2026. Now this comes at a very interesting time. If you looked at Nintendo recently, you can see a giant glow, like a sparkle around them, because every other company seems to be doing something wrong. Steam with $1,000 Steam machine, PlayStation's shutting down physical games, Xbox doing a whole reboot, and Nintendo seems like they got everything covered. Physical games are here to stay, and they gave us variable pricing. But now you can see the whole problem with digital. If you buy anything digital, your game is just going to be taken away. I know hundreds of people that have spent money on Mario Kart Tour. Maybe this was to get a gold Mario. This was to do some mystery box hunting or gambling, if you will. This was to get some cool event, new customization. I mean, I didn't really play Mario Kart Tour, but I do appreciate some of the aspects that this game had. And now, that is going to go poof. It's literally going to go poof out of existence. This is one of the biggest problems with having a digital future. We've seen it before and we're seeing it again. Before it was with the crew that was getting a shutdown. Even if you spent money on the game, your game was completely taken away with no refund. Same thing goes with movies or shows or whatever it is. A digital product is not yours to own, but instead, if the company wants to, they can choose at any moment to get rid of that. And it's honestly really disappointing. Mario Kart Tour was just a unique experience. Sure, it wasn't the best Mario Kart game, but it did have such cool, unique ideas. Like, quite literally, I think that this game had one of the greatest sort of Mario Kart roster than any game ever, because the game had such a fun gameplay mechanic. Now, it wasn't like your Mario Kart game where you grab a controller and you start playing. You had to swipe around with your phone. That was the weird part that I found. But the pure amount of characters that you had, the pure amount of courses and tracks and challenges that you can do. This is all things that I wanted to see in Mario Kart World, because then you could have seen such a massive explosion in players, and also you could have like an enjoyable amount of fun. Because if there's something to unlock, it's kind of like you're going achievement hunting. If there's something to thrive for, to go for, that is honestly fantastic, because then you'll look at it and you'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna go and get myself my gold Mario Kart. It's honestly really funny to me that Mario Kart World doesn't have any of that. But overall, back to Mario Kart Tour. This has come to a very disappointing thing. Like, honestly, this ran from, what, 2017 to 2026? I guess it had a pretty long life. And if you look at it, Mario or Animal Crossing Pocket Tour, that was a brand new, or Pocket Camp or whatever it was, the Animal Crossing on the smartphone. That did recently get shut down, but Nintendo decided to do like an offline mode. So you could buy the entire game from the store on your phone, and then there you go. You had like every single update from what happened. It seems like Mario Kart Tour is not going to be getting that same treatment. I honestly believe that the core reason is because there's an endless amount of content there. There's an endless amount of characters and things, and they probably would have to change a lot and how the gimmicks work, the functionality, because before you bought like these red rubies and then you were able to buy things inside the shop, if that was gonna have some sort of offline mode, then they would change like red rubies. Maybe you get that in the game and then you could buy stuff from the shop that's gonna be like a shop in Super Smash Bros. That doesn't really have to be connected to the internet. It just sort of goes off your internal clock. But overall, they were riding the wave. They were riding the actual big wave. But now when you look at it, I mean, they're still riding the wave, but it's just a little bit different now, because honestly, they should have waited. They should have waited until August while the wave sort of slows down, and then they're over here with, hey, guess what? Mario Kart Tour is shut down. Or just say, hey, you know what, shut down? But there is going to be an offline mode. So, yeah! I said, Nintendo is riding the wave. Like the actual wave. If they want to do this, they should have waited. They should have waited until like August at some point. Just got rid of the ability to pay for things or something like that without saying anything. Because the wave is looking good. But now the wave is still looking good for them with the physical game idea. Because The unknowns to me, I actually saw a comment about they're making brand new sort of cartridges. So for a couple games, they're making new cartridges, bigger cartridges that will have the entire like game, like newer games on them. I can't confirm this or deny this, but this is actually really cool if they're doing this. This could mean that the Nintendo Switch 3 is going to be full physical, because that would absolutely be insane. But overall, this closure is definitely really disappointing in my eyes. I don't really know. I look at this and I'm like, well, Mario Kart Tour was a soldier. It brought a lot of awesome tracks. Like one of my favorite tracks was it the Ducky map that came through this? I think it was. But yeah, it's definitely a little bit disappointing. Overall, if you want to play Mario Kart Tour for the last times, well, September 30th, that is when it's going to be going away from the store, and you will never be able to play this game again. Like, quite literally, just think about that for a second. A Mario Kart experience that you'll never be able to play again. You'll never be able to, unless someone decided to pirate it or added to like an archive or something. But besides that, you will never be able to pirate it. In fact, I don't even think you can archive it, since it was essentially an online only game. So yeah, this is definitely a wild story. It's literally joining the Wild West now, because oh boy, a game getting wiped from existence. What's gonna happen 20, 30 years from now with your digital library? If you bought a whole bunch of games in what, 2020 to play with your friends, and now all of a sudden you want to go and revisit your games that you used to play together, what happens? Are your games just gonna be gone? Poof. It's like you open up a box and it kind of just gone, evaporated. These are all things that you look at and you're like, is something going to be happening here, or did we just lose a valuable Mario Kart game? Now, of course, games don't last forever, especially the online service games, because technically you still have to power the server, and if there's not much money coming in anymore, I still saw a lot of people like Mario Kart Tour. It was a cool game, because if you're somewhere that you don't have a Switch or something, you can just stand up, alright, I'm gonna play a little game of Mario Kart. Like, this is perfect, even if you didn't even have a Switch to begin with. You stand up, you sit down, or whatever, you're on your lunch break, I'm gonna go and play some Mario Kart. You wanna join me in a battle against me and you, Mario Kart style? It's gonna be on your phone, but who cares? Here we go, let's start playing. We're gonna do the boogie, we're gonna win. Overall, this is all some really interesting things. But what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that Mario Kart Tour was a good game? Do you think this came out of straight up left field? Or do you think it was sort of gonna happen? Overall, what are your thoughts on all of this weird Nintendo news? I think that they were riding the wave, but now this squashed the wave. I think that the wave is still going to be there. Nintendo is still going to be considered widely as the best game, sort of, so you can get actual physical games, but this is kind of weird. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hope that you enjoy. Consider that like button, maybe subscribing. Consider help me reach my goal of 5,000 subscribers by July 30th. It's my birthday. We're so close, and I really thank you all. So anyways, have a fantastic